Hello everybody, Ketshi1383 with Ketshi Gaming. This is Epic Store Free Games episode 18. So I haven't been able to put one of these out properly, mainly due to time constraints, but I have some free time right now, so I am going to put one together. So I'm going to try and make a more concerted effort to put out the episodes that are shorter instead of the whole entire hour that I dedicate to recording just the first bit of the games. With that being said, the two free games for this week are Alba, a wildlife adventure, and Shadow Tactics, Blades of the Shogun. So the first game is Alba, a wildlife adventure, which takes place in some island in Latin America. I don't know if it's real or not, and I didn't feel inclined to actually research it. I will say you start out as a toddler, and then it jumps to 10 years later, in which she goes and visits her grandparents for a week. I didn't play long enough to get through said week, and I'm not entirely sure if it's just that 7 days, and I'm kind of under the impression that it'll extend past the 7 days. So Alba goes around, at least at first, I'm not sure if it expands later, but at least on the island where her grandparents are living, you go and you take pictures of various animals using a cell phone, mainly birds so far from what I've played, and it identifies what animal they are. It's kind of like Pokemon meets Pokemon Snap, but with real animals that exist in our reality. I mean, they even have a rare animal in the game that I'm pretty sure is going to be a key part to the plot. So, not much goes on with the game in particular. I mean, from just the short little footage that I played right now, this is mainly what has been going on. There are some other things that happen throughout the game. Like you can pick up trash, like right here. Well, at least not the trash in this part, but yes, you can pick up trash and you'll earn like a heart over Alba. I don't know if what that does, but they never quite explained, and if they did, I totally missed it. And then you can also fold people's laundry, which anyone knows that if you fold somebody's laundry incorrectly, it's just gonna make them mad. But for the most part, there really isn't much to this game. You take photos of various animals and identifies them. Eventually, I did come to a part where this is probably where the main plot is, in that they want to turn the wildlife reserve into a 5-star hotel. I didn't get farther than that. It wasn't exactly an engaging game. And considering it's an indie company, I'm not going to knock it for its visuals, but it has pretty simple visuals and music. And it definitely has an environmental message. I just didn't get enough into it to hear all of it. But I'm pretty sure the plot's going to revolve around finding the links that you saw early in the game at the very beginning, or at least one of them, in order to keep them from destroying the reserve. I mean, I guess if you really want to try it, it's free until Thursday, the 17th of November, 2022. The second game is Shadow Tactics Blades of the Shogun. It's a stealth-oriented real-time tactics video game. So think kind of like XCOM or maybe even Mario plus Rabbids, kind of along that idea, except it happens in real time and it doesn't happen in turns. For them, well, it sort of does, but it's seamless, so you really can't tell. There are cooldowns to both your abilities and the abilities of the enemies. This was a total tonal shift from the last game. And unfortunately, I didn't exactly start recording when I started playing. I forgot to hit the record button. This one was more engaging, and I had a little bit more fun with it, but not enough to keep going after the first level. It's surprisingly detailed for how big the scale is. The controls were a bit clunky when it came to rotating the camera, mainly because you had to squeeze the right trigger to move it with the right analog stick at the same time, which was weird. But you start out as a shinobi assassinating various enemies within this particular castle, eventually being joined by a samurai and then a marksman that's on top of a tower. and you can control up to all three of them in a ability called Shadow Move, in which you can tell them what you want them to do and then tell them to execute it. There are various options per character. Like the shinobi can jump down off of roofs and climb up onto them as well, obviously, and assassinate people from the roof, while the samurai character can carry heavier things, but he can also lure enemies out and kill them with his samurai sword. He also has an ability that can kill multiple enemies with his swords. So this particular mission started out with the shinobi trying to destroy a main gate to this castle so the Shogun forces can get through. And I did have to start over multiple times because I was exceptionally klutzy and kept getting caught and forgetting to quick save. I'm guessing there's an option to, or not say option, a challenge to not do a quick save, but one, I wasn't just exactly patient enough in this case when I probably should have been if I was taking it seriously. But also, it kind of irritated me. Like, you can see right there how fast the field of vision is going by. And I was like, I mean, how fast it's going back and forth, it was kind of just irritating, especially with the size of the field of view. Yes, it's doable, but it just wasn't compelling enough to keep playing after the first mission. There is definitely some challenge to it if that's what you're looking for. It has some pretty decent visuals and some audio that's pretty good as well. I can't really speak about the plot since I only did the very first mission, and I'm pretty sure it'll unfold as I play more. But like I said, it's not intriguing enough for me to just want to keep playing. And on top of the giant field of views and the constant back and forth that they do, the controls were kind of on the clunky side when it came to particularly the camera, like I said before. But it kind of irritated me that I constantly had to shift the camera all the time in order to see what I was doing and where I was going instead of the camera panning with the character. And in one case, I grabbed a scroll that was a tutorial, but the game in the background was still going, and I got caught. And I had to restart from a quick save because I got caught and killed while in the tutorial menu. I think if you wanted to play this game, go ahead and give it a try. The price is right for what it is, which is free on the Epic Store. Also, the same date as Alba: A Wildlife Story. Unfortunately, both these games aren't really much to talk about. Shadow Tactics had more going for it than Alba did, but I feel no compelling to get these games and continue playing them past maybe an initial introductory phase. And it really doesn't help that Sonic Frontiers and God of War came out. Then you also have Pokemon next week, and then I also think Warhammer comes out with a Vermintide 2 type game for Warhammer 40,000 or 40K, whatever you want to call it. So my interest is even more watered down and diluted by games that are probably far more engaging than this. I'm only giving you a very slim and narrow bit when it comes to the actual overall games, but that's about what I'm going to get with an hour of play for each of them. I think in Alba's case it was only 35 minutes, and I was already bored with it. So if you made it this far into the video, thank you for watching, and have a good one.